Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Hey, this is EAJ-Man from Autopsy Live and the Skype Pirates. When I want to make it look like I don't give a shit about sports, I tune into Sports World Radio with Jeff Eskow.
Jeff
Doing bad time. Doing bad time. Got myself a problem.
Live from San Diego, it's Sports World Radio. You've never heard a sports show like this. Oh, no, you haven't.
Oh, blow me.
You got it.
Holy
Holy fucking shit.
What the hell is your major malfunction?
Can't believe that goddamn son of a bitch did that fucking crap.
Don't give me any of your shit.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Those are your hosts, Jeff Ascow and Sean Mann. Remember, those who can't play sports, talk about it. These two tell it like it is. Tune into Sports World Radio for the fastest hour of sports of your life. So here they are, the douchebags of sports themselves, Jeff Escow and Sean Mann.
Hey, welcome to Sports World Radio. I am your host, Jeff Escow. We got a jam-packed show for you guys today. Lots and lots and lots to get to. A lot of things going on in the NFL. I'm sure we're going to speak about that. Before we get into all the good stuff, let me get all the particulars out of the way. We'll bring in the co-host, and we'll get right to the Rat Bastard Show. You're listening to Sports World Radio on SportsWorldRadio.com. If you want to hang out in our chat room and you're hanging out at SportsWorldRadio.com and you don't have an account with Spreaker, it's free to get an account. SPREAKER.com. Get yourself a free account. Sign up. Then hang out in our chat room with us, Sports World Radio. And boom. You can hang out right in the chat room right from the show at SportsWorldRadio.com. Like our Facebook page at Facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio, as well as follow us on Twitter at Twitter.com/SportsWorldRadio. You want to give a call to the show, 619-663-3715, 619-663-3715 is the number to get involved with the show. Now listen, kids. We have our NFL Pro Football Pick'em group going. A week from today begins the NFL. So you must get in before the first NFL game of the season, which is next week. So if you want to play and you've liked our Facebook page, head on over to Facebook and you'll see there that I have on a post at the top of the page how to get involved. If you don't want to do that, just send an email to swrshow@gmail.com. In the subject, put Pick'em. In the body, just put your name and email, and I'll send you the invitation. swrshow@gmail.com to join our Pick'em football group. Remember, you got 1 week left. Now, with all that, and one more quick note. Tomorrow's show, we're starting off with a bang. Don Chaffin of D2 will be on the show. That was the song that I played before we came on the air. That song was called Little Voices. That song was written by Danny Spitz, the old guitarist of Anthrax, and was sung by Don Chaffin. And Don's going to be on the show tomorrow, right at the top of the show. So join us for that tomorrow. Now, with all that out of the way, what do you say, hey, we bring in that co-host I was talking about, Sean Mann, the update man. What's going on, buddy?
I am doing great, Jeff. Welcome, everybody, to Sports World Radio on this Thursday, August 28th, 2014. Currently, the time is 6:07 p.m. on the East Coast, which marks 3:07 p.m. on the West. And for you people who live in the Central, you got to figure it out for yourself. I'm super, I'm grand, I'm dandy. How are you, Jeff? How's the weather out there? It's a pretty nice, overcast day.
What did you drink, an energy drink before the freaking show?
Yes, indeed. Yes, of course
Holy
I did.
freaking moly. Oh, my God, man. You sound like a Mexican jumping bean. I love that energy. That's fantastic energy right there. Make sure you bring that energy to the beginning of the show tomorrow. Don, I'd like to hear that.
I'll be honored to hear from him and meet him and
it's gonna be a lot of fun tomorrow. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun tomorrow. So the first half hour of tomorrow's show, we're gonna talk to Don Chaffin of D2. He's gonna be here at the top of the show, and he's gonna stay till the bottom of the hour until 6:30, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with Don. So we're looking forward to that tomorrow. Okay, Mr. Shawnee. The weather out here is really freaking hot. It's about freaking probably 95, 96 degrees. It's freaking hot. And I just turned the air conditioner off in the studio, so it's going to get a little smoking hot in here. But, hey, I'm here. I'm ready to rock and roll, ready for a big show. What do you got for me?
Welcome, everybody, to what we have. The first story, you know how Encyclopedia Man always pushes your buttons, Jeff, about Jerry Jones. Well, here's what he said. Jerry Jones, the Cowboys are glitz and glamour of the NFL. It makes sense that an NFL owner who has previously rapped about pizza, made a cameo on Entourage, and generally loves mugging for cameras would describe his team like this. Quote, we are glitz and the glamour of the NFL. We want to kick our opponents. You know what you know what with glitz and glamour. Jerry Jones talking big again. What do you say, Jeff?
Hey, Jerry, shut the hell up. Keep him, for a team that's been 8-8 the last 3 seasons, you got a big freaking mouth. That's what I think. For a team that's been 8-8, who has no glitz and no glamour, or a team who's been 8-8, just mediocre, you got a big freaking mouth.
And he continues to talk so much smack.
And he'll continue to talk, and you know what? He will, and his team won't back it up. That's the problem. You talk and talk and talk and talk, but your team don't back it up. So guess what? It's time to shut up.
What happens when he comes out and says, hey, Mr. Eskow, I told you the Cowboys are going to be better, and they made it to the Super Bowl. He'll probably just shoot his mouth off and say, oh, the Cowboys are the America's team. We're going back to the Super Bowl this year. Get ready for playoff games and Big D.
Hey, Sean, what the hell is that picture in the chat room?
That is called Titletown USA for my new profile picture I just put on my Spreaker one. Doesn't it look nice?
That's disgusting. That's disgusting. What is that crap? What is that? Titletown. That looks... I'm glad it's small enough where I can't really see it. That looks disgusting. It caught my eye there for a second. I was like, what the heck? Because he wasn't that way yesterday. I was like, what the hell?
What's going to happen, Jerry, when Dallas starts off really, really bad? You won't have very much to say. Remember, your team hasn't even won a preseason game, so I wouldn't think that it'd be right to get your hopes up.
Oh, he always gets his hopes up, and the team never backs up his mouth, and that's the problem with him. That's the problem in a nutshell, that the team can't back up his mouth. So it's time for him to keep his mouth shut and let his team do the talking for him. And that ain't going to happen either. Ain't no way that's going to happen this year. Not with that defense that they got. Not with that defense they got. So you're starting to...
their defense is going to be the main struggle for the Dallas Cowboys. The only way that the Dallas Cowboys are going to win it is making sure that they'll keep Romo healthy, and if Romo can win the big games in December, and if their defense steps it up. And I just say with Jerry Jones shooting his mouth off, already it's costing him right now in the present, and get ready for it to be more in the future.
Well, he just needs to be quiet.
He does, because
That's
it's
all.
not making him look good.
No, he just needs to be quiet. It's making him look like a fool every time he opens up his mouth. So he just needs to shut up. Basically what it is. Let his team do the talking, and when his team doesn't do the talking, he just needs to shut up.
12 minutes after the hour, the Encyclopedia Man, he puts in the chat room, he says, Jeff, Sean, my butt, a coach and a team ranked 30th is the glitz and glamour, and I sleep every time I see a Cowboys game. That's a good way
you're
to
right.
look at it.
They're not glitz and glamour. They're 8-8. They stink. There's no glitz. There's no glamour. There's nothing there.
The predictions,
Absolutely
like
nothing.
we said, are not very good that we have for the Cowboys. I picked them to be 8-8, and of course, Jeff, you said the Cowboys. I remember on Tuesday's show when you brought Frank in, you were talking about working your way up with the Cowboys. I'm going to go right back down there again. Look at what I had. I had them at 8-8 again, seeing them just get maybe knocked out for a wild card or something like that. Encyclopedia Man, of course, had his predictions too with the Cowboys. He said that they would be 3-13 this year. Jeff, you said that Dallas will go 6-10 this year.
Yeah, right. According to all three of us, they're not making the freaking playoffs. So, hey, Jones, shut up.
And Frank Sprankel, who we bring in for the second hour before we go to commercial, had Dallas picked at 6-10. So pretty much we all know it's going to be a losing year, and that's
Oh,
where
that's right.
That's why
We got
I'm
the
saying
big wind
Dallas
in
will
today.
not make the playoffs, and Jason Garrett can kiss his job goodbye.
That's right. We got the big wind in today, don't we? The big wind.
And other stuff that Jones made the, quote, glitz and glamour comments Monday at AT&T Stadium while announcing the Cowboys' new partnership with Swiss watchmaker Hublot.
He had to because it was a watchmaker, so he had to use the word glitz and glamour. They stink. The only glitz and glamour you got going on there is your freaking stadium because your team ain't no glitz and glamour. I'll tell you that.
Here's what Jerry Jones also says before we go to commercial. The Dallas Cowboys are to associate with the very finest in terms of other areas of disciples, Jones said. As much as we love the sport, as much as we love the contact, as much as we want to win a Super Bowl, we also appreciate the association with a great company or a great idea or a great product. That's what this commitment is all about.
He has to be happy because he's getting money.
That's what he's saying.
He has
He
put
has
on a
every
front.
belief that this is the year the Cowboys will win the Super Bowl for the first time
God.
since 1995.
What world does this guy live in? Because it's obviously not Earth.
With him saying that and the Cowboys being 146 and 142 since 1997, what an absolute joke. And you got Tony Romo, who's 14 and 21 in the month of December. That explains a lot there. And on that note, we have to run to commercial break.
You're listening to Jeff Escow and Sean Man on
Sports World Radio.
Storms move fast, so we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design,
which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
What kind of person gets to work in the sunshine instead of an office? This kind of person. I am the new way to work. I do have an office. I'm just not chained to it. It's a Regis office at one of the nicest addresses in the city. I don't have a lease, so I don't have to budget for stuff like phones, IT guys, and artwork for the lobby. Instead, I pay one low monthly rate that gives me a beautiful lobby that impresses my clients, a friendly receptionist, a fully furnished office, a place to meet, and a place to brainstorm with my fellow new way to workers. We wonder why more people don't realize that the new way to work is the best way to work. I come here because I want to, not because I have to. I am the new way to work, and I'd like you to join me.
Start now and get 1 month free. Call 1-800-OFFICES or visit regis.com/TV.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Hey, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Sean and I were having a really cool conversation off the air. Sean and I, sometimes we don't speak to each other off the air, and then sometimes I ask him stupid questions. And this is one of the times I asked him a stupid question. Jeff Escow, Sean Mann, Sports World Radio, welcome back, everybody. I asked him, I said, hey, Sean, are you, bowling season's coming up. Are you bowling again this year?
I am not going to be doing bowling season this year. I'm going to be focusing on shows, and I'm going to be working on my online college course.
Nobody wants to play with you, huh?
Yeah, nobody wants to play with me anymore.
Nobody
Probably I've
asked
been
you?
throwing too many gutter balls and stuff,
Nobody
so,
asked
yeah.
you to join this year?
Huh?
Nobody asked you to join a team this season?
Yeah, somebody did, but I decided to take the year off.
You decided to take the year off. What are you, Tiger Woods?
Hey, I'm going to be doing a lot of shows when it comes up. Give me a break there.
Oh, they probably wanted to do like a... Why? Excuse me. You could do a 6 o'clock bowling thing or a 9 o'clock bowling thing. What's the matter for you? Your little hand hurts? Okay, so... it's just things that we talk about when we're on break. Okay, so
We're going to talk about the letter that Roger Goodell sent out.
Roger Goodell sent out a letter to every NFL football team and pretty much to all NFL personnel. And I'm not going to read the letter because this letter is freaking amazingly long. I mean, he gets into it. But basically what he says is, and I found the part that I really just want to read. It's just one quick sentence, and I'm gonna read this, and then I'm gonna ask for Sean's opinion, and then I'm gonna tell you what I think. Violations of personal conduct policy regarding assault, battery, domestic violence, and sexual assault that involve physical force will be subject to enhanced discipline. A first offense will be subject to a suspension of 6 weeks without pay. Mitigating circumstances will be considered, and more severe discipline will be imposed if there are aggravating circumstances such as the presence or use of a weapon, choking, repeated striking, or when the act is committed against a pregnant woman or in the presence of a child. A second offense will result in banishment from the league. An offender may petition for reinstatement after 1 year, but there is no assurance that the petition will be granted. These disciplinary consequences apply to all NFL personnel. That includes, and I'm assuming, the owner, all the way down to the ball boy and everybody in between, meaning sales reps, ticket agents, anybody that works at the stadium, they're all NFL personnel. Correct?
Correct. And I think that finally, maybe they're hearing us, that the NFL is taking an approach and taking steps and measures to get more discipline involved with the NFL players. So I'm glad that Roger Goodell is actually doing something about this. You got to give him some props, just a little bit.
A little too late. Let me ask you a question, Sean. And I asked this on Facebook. Is it a little too late or better late than never?
To answer your question, I'd say probably better late than never, just to try to do something to address the issues of when players are getting slapped with fines or getting hit with penalties. Just now suspensions need to be put in place. Think about the Browns player that we talked about yesterday.
Now, here's the next question I have. Would this have been put in place if the Ray Rice thing never happened? Nobody's asking that question.
I think it's possible that it could have taken place before it could have been taken care of, but Roger Goodell...
Would this have happened if the Ray Rice incident never happened?
I think so.
You think so? I don't think it would have happened one bit. Not
like I said, you got to give Roger Goodell some props that he's finally doing something, and that's why I'm saying better late than never. Because now now they're probably saying we didn't address the Ray Rice issue very well, so now it's time that we start doing something and add some discipline to it. Even Encyclopedia Man, he says this. He goes, not much really to say besides about time and now. It's just to see how they'll deal with these issues in the future. That's a good point. Hopefully in the future they can start doing a better job of addressing these serious conflicts.
So Ray Rice gets 2 games, and anybody else now that it happens to gets 6. Is that fair?
I don't think that's fair at all. I don't think it's fair at all.
See, I think Roger Goodell should amend his suspension and give him 6. Now, on the other side of this, okay, are the NFL players. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. And I'm not 100% positive on this. Can Roger Goodell do this without the say-so of the NFLPA?
If he does this without the say of the NFLPA, then there is a serious problem going on. You got to make sure that you communicate back and forth. That's lack of communication.
Don't
Jeff.
they have a
You got to
collective?
realize everybody has to agree to this. Everybody
Right.
does.
Don't they have a collective bargaining agreement already set in place? So now he wants to change the rules all of a sudden now? See what I'm saying?
He's really screwing up the game, Roger Goodell is. It's becoming the Roger Goodell National Football League, if you get my drift, because he's made so many changes, so many rules, and now it's just – I think it's all about him. Paul Tagliabue did a good job as NFL commissioner. I was impressed. And he goes, Encyclopedia Man, don't you think the NFLPA have already discussed this issue with Goodell?
I don't know. Do you know that?
We don't know. That's
I don't know, Josh.
Man, you'd have to look that up.
I don't know. Do you know that? Do you know that he's actually sat down with the head of the NFLPA to do this with? I don't know. Or did he do this on his own? I don't know.
That's a good point.
I have no clue. But
That's a
I would
very
like to
good
know
point.
that. If he did this on his own without the NFLPA, that's a problem. Because now he's playing God.
Yeah, and you know what that is, too? That's a lack of communication, not telling the NFLPA things
And
right
really-
away. Now, that's a bad thing if you don't tell people something right away.
And if
because
you
it's
think
trying to get
about
away
it,
with
Sean, the commissioner don't work for the players. He works for the owners.
Yeah.
Okay, so in my eyes, he's not really the commissioner. There's no true commissioner in major leagues because the commissioner works for the owners.
Right.
In my eyes, the commissioner should be neutral. The commissioner should work for NFL. The commissioner should work for Major League Baseball. The commissioner should work for the NBA Association. The commissioner should work for the NHL Hockey League. The commissioner shouldn't work for the owners. They should work for the league, not the owners.
Yep.
That's why I'm not fond of these commissioners, because the commissioners work for the owners.
Encyclopedia Man, he adds a good point. The NFL Players Association said it had been informed of the increased punishments. Quote, as we do in all disciplinary matters, if we believe that players' due process rights are infringed upon during the course of discipline, we will assert and defend our members' rights. That's what the union statement
Okay, so
said.
they knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm okay with it. I didn't know that the union didn't make an announcement saying that they knew it was coming. ESPN didn't cover
we were
that.
Confused. I didn't hear anything. You didn't hear anything. And finally now, thanks to the Encyclopedia Man for getting us updated about that.
Thanks, buddy. So it's nice to see that the union and him sat down and did all this. I'm great. You know what? I'm happy that Roger Goodell is finally, and that's the key word right there, finally doing something about it. Whether it's too little, too late, he's at least doing something about it. But on the other hand, would he be doing something about it if Ray Rice didn't do what he did?
He probably realizes, Jeff, that he needs to address this before the first game of the NFL season
Sean.
a week from today. He
Sean.
probably was saying, I need to address it.
Sean, make believe Ray Rice never got in trouble. Ray Rice is not suspended. He didn't hit his wife. Nothing happened. Ray Rice didn't get in trouble at all, okay? Make believe that, all right?
All right, I'll make...
Would Roger Goodell be putting this letter out today if the Ray Rice issue never, ever happened?
I see what your point is, Jeff. I would say I agree with you and say he probably would not have put the letter out if with the Ray Rice issue.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying. And nobody is making that point. Nobody is making that point.
So I guess all of us can come into an agreement here that we can be proud of the fact, like the key word that you said there, Jeff, finally, Roger Goodell is getting off his duff and he's doing something about this instead of all these other rule changes that I have totally disagreed with in the first place.
And he should turn around and say, since these new rules are in effect, Ray Rice is suspended for 6 games, not 2.
Yeah.
But I still say, I don't believe Roger Goodell would have done this if the Ray Rice thing never happened. I don't believe it. I believe he's only doing this because of the Ray Rice thing.
Be amazed to hear what Frank's perspective is. We've reached 30 minutes past the hour. We're going to run to our second commercial break. When we come back, we've got lots of stuff to still cover for the wide world of sports.
You're listening to Jeff Escow and Sean Mann on
Sports World Radio.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Why does consultant Jerry Howell stay at La Quinta?
Can you come back tomorrow?
Because only with La Quinta can Jerry instant hold the room tonight using just his phone number. And then power down for tomorrow on his pillow top bed. And when Jerry's refreshed, you know what he does?
We need ideas, people. Think. Synergistic integration. Genius.
He thinks outside the box.
I'm going for it. No.
La Quinta Inns and Suites take care of you so you can take care of business. Instant hold your next stay on your smartphone at LQ.com.
La Quinta.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow, Sean Mann. Won't back down from nothing. That's right. We ain't backing down from nothing. A little Tom Petty there for you. Won't back down. Sean and I ain't backing down from nothing. I'm not backing down from my stance. And my stance is, if Ray Rice never got in trouble, Roger Goodell would have never put this letter out. That's my stance, and I'm sticking to it. Do you agree with me or you disagree with me?
And another thing that is disappointed, Jeff, as you all know, a week from today is the start of the 2014 NFL season. The San Diego Chargers played the Arizona Cardinals to conclude the NFL preseason, and then the San Diego Chargers on September 8th open up against the Arizona Cardinals, which just gets Jeff disgusted.
Let me see. Okay, I'm going to do an imitation of Roger Goodell, okay?
All right.
Okay. Let me see what we're going to do with the San Diego Chargers for their season, for the beginning of their season, and who they're going to play for their schedule. Okay, they play the Cardinals at the last game of the preseason at San Diego. Let's have San Diego go to Arizona and play the Cardinals again to open up the season on Monday night. Jackass.
I think that's the stupidest thing. I've never, in all the years you cover the NFL, you never have ever seen it where it's, somebody's coming in there. Wes is in the house. Check this out.
Another county heard from.
Hey, Wes, what's going on with your Pittsburgh Pirates, buddy?
That's what's going on with his Pittsburgh Pirates. Hey, Wes, I got a question for you. Okay, tomorrow's show, really important, Wes, that you be here at the top of the hour, you rat bastard. We're having Don Chaffin on, the lead singer of D2, on tomorrow. Great music. So you better be in the house for that. Right at the top of the show tomorrow, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, 3 o'clock Pacific. And if you live in the Central,
figure it out for yourself.
Damn Skippy. Josh, what are you writing, a freaking book over here?
He's talking about each team plays home and away against its 3 division opponents, which counts for 6 games on the schedule.
I know that, but why are the Chargers playing the freaking Arizona Cardinals the last preseason game of the year and then opening up against the Cardinals in Arizona? What the hell? Does that make any freaking sense whatsoever?
I've never seen it. In all the years you cover the NFL, you've never, ever have seen it where a team has to end against the opponent they play, and then they have to start against the same opponent that they played in the preseason on the last. It's crazy. That's nuts.
Yeah,
he goes,
I know.
my last post, but they got the formula type process of making the schedule.
That formula sucks, then. Okay? And another thing, since we are talking about the Chargers playing tonight against Arizona, they've already made an announcement on TV that none of the starters are playing.
That's right.
Okay? None of the starters are playing. The game is not sold out, and the game will not be on TV. How great is that? So you remember at the beginning of the week when I said they had to crawl on the TV, telling me that if the Charger game is on at 7 o'clock, Big Brother's going to be moved to such and such, and if the game's blacked out, Big Brother's going to be on at the regularly scheduled time?
That's right, and you got to remember, 2 weeks from today for the NFL on Thursday night, for 8 weeks you're going to be watching the NFL on CBS with all the changing of the schedule that we talked about a few days ago, Jeff, and that's the decision that Roger Goodell made to say, hey, everybody, football night in America, Thursday night football, tune in and watch the NFL on CBS for 8 straight weeks.
Yeah, whoopee-doo-dah.
And then they move it to the NFL Network.
Yeah, more than 9,000 tickets remain for the game on Monday night. Yeah, for the game tonight. More than 9,000 tickets for the game tonight. Who wants to go see a game on Thursday night? Get the hell out of here. I ain't going there. Especially it's the Arizona Cardinals ain't going to be that's crazy. I'm glad the game's blacked out.
You must be writing a book.
I'm glad the game's blacked out. I really am. I really am glad the game's blacked out.
Encyclopedia Man says, second, these teams meet again the season opener, as you all know, on September 8th, so they are not about to give anything away. He goes, quote, I've had a lot of years in the NFL, and I don't think I've ever had this scenario, said new Chargers offensive coordinator Frank Wright. Quote, there is always some element when you're trying to conceal something. That is what
it's the most, I know, Sean, I read the stupid thing.
Is the mind games.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know you did. I know. I was all over it. I know. It's stupid.
Wes says CBS blows.
Hey, listen. You're going to be watching 8 games in football for the first 8 weeks on CBS, so you can't say it blows too much.
Wes, yeah, and you want to talk about your Pittsburgh Pirates.
Of course he does.
Says, we're going to have to go like 20 Pirates wild card number 1. He's here he is.
What did I tell you yesterday, Sean? What did I say yesterday? I said that Pittsburgh's coming back in the wild card, watch West show up. Freaking Pittsburgh was nowhere to be found out of the wild card, out of the freaking first place. All of a sudden, they're back in the wild card, and here comes Mr. West showing up at Sports World Radio.
And you predicted it, yep.
What a bandwagon fan he is.
And Wes, I'm sure you got all your Pittsburgh Steelers gear out. He goes, wild card, he goes 4 games out. Got to have a run.
Dude,
here, look at this.
Dude, you're 1.5 games out of the wild card, okay? You got to get over freaking Atlanta to get to the wild card, okay? And then you got to knock out San Francisco. I don't think that's happening. So you got to get through 2 teams to get to the wild card. I don't think that's happening, my friend.
And what happens if he comes back and he says that the Pirates get in? He goes, told you, Jeff, that the Pirates would be in there.
Pirates are not getting in, man. I don't care. They're not getting in this year.
Look at all the teams. I'm right there right now. For the National League wild card, you've got the Cardinals leading the wild card. Giants, Braves, Pirates are number 4.
Correct.
So,
I know. I'm looking right at it myself.
2 games behind. Both Atlanta and Pittsburgh are.
No. Hey, you know what there, Mr. Wes? You know what I'm going to say about the Pittsburgh Pirates? So sorry, suck this.
I told you to come in here, Wes, because I haven't seen you for a while. He goes, look, I'm always here. He goes, I listen to you guys on my phone.
Oh, so you listen every freaking day, but you just don't chime in, you rat bastard, huh?
He goes, look, we play all the leaders. Just got to win 20 games, like 20-4 in the next 24 games.
Hey, Wes. Wes. I'm only gonna ask this once. Did you join our NFL Pro Football Pick'em group? Because if you didn't, you know what's gonna be said to you next, right?
Oh.
You know what the word I'm gonna call you, right?
Got 12 people already in.
Oh, we got more than that now.
Good.
Got more than that. You better get your butt in there. The returning champion is back. She is back. We do FanDuel. Get the hell out of here, FanDuel. Come on, be a real man and come and play with the real boys at Sports World. Listen, you talk so much crap that you're so good. Come in and play in our NFL Football Pick'em group and see if you can take us down, you rat bastard.
Is it a pick'em thing? That's what he said.
Yes, it's a pick'em thing. You pick the winners of every game every week. It's free to play, and if you win, I'll give you a special prize. But I'm telling you, you ain't winning. I'm throwing the gauntlet right down to you. You ain't winning. How about that?
And Wes, I have to admit, it has been pretty rough this year, hasn't it? Steelers losing the last game, the Penguins blowing a 3-1 lead to the Rangers, and now you think the Pirates are going to make the wild card. What happens if you lose again there, Wes? You're going to be pretty quiet. I won't see you for a long time on the show.
You know what's going to happen? Wes is going to join our Pick'em League, and he's going to be in last place, and he'll never be at the show. That's what's going to happen.
Carrie says, what's the prize, Jeff?
Look at Carrie sneaking in here. What's the prize? It's a special. Wait, look. Okay, look at him. He wants to sign up now. Look at him. See, I talked him into it.
And he's already saying, Jeff, Steelers got robbed.
Do me a
because
favor.
The Chargers got lucky.
If you want to play in our NFL Pick'em group, go over to the Sports World Radio fan page on Facebook and just scroll down a little bit, and you'll see the link, the group ID number, and the password. If you don't want to do that and you're too freaking lazy, just send an email to swrshow@gmail.com. In the subject, put Pick'em, and I will send you the invitation to the email you send me to join the league. That's anybody.
Wes, you're still up. Here it is, August, and you're still upset because the Steelers got robbed because the Chiefs couldn't help your team get in the postseason.
Oh, poor baby. Oh, poor baby.
And he says Jeff doesn't know anything about football.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff,
okay.
Remember that time when he posted on our walls that he got an actual letter from, like, Roger Goodell? And then he said,
hey, can I
that
ask
is
you,
so Wes's writing.
Yeah, hey, how come Roger Goodell didn't send you this freaking letter that he sent you to everybody else, huh? Huh? You freaking rat bastard, you.
he says Jeff doesn't know NFL football well.
I know well enough to know that the Pittsburgh freaking Steelers ain't going to do crap this year. Just like the Pittsburgh Pirates ain't going to the playoffs. I know that. How about that? You like those apples? Those are some tasty apples, ain't they? Some good apples. Really goody apples. Okay, hey, you know what? Hey, do me a favor, Sean, really quick before we go to an update.
Mm-hmm.
Pull up the records that we did for the AFC North, where his team is, and what we picked. Wes, last week, I believe we did, 2 weeks ago, we did the AFC North or whatever division whatever division your team is in.
Actually, we started off with the AFC North. I got to just find it real quick.
What did I do? You well, pull it up so you can pull it up there, and then you could tell Wes what each of us gave as the Pittsburgh Steelers record will be at the end of the season. Our predictions. You have it there, you rat bastard?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What did you predict the Steelers to be?
I was going to read yours off, actually,
No, I want
first.
you to say me for last. What did you do?
All right, I said the Bengals are going to go 11-5.
Just give me the Steelers.
Oh, Steelers 8-8.
Sean picks the Steelers going 8-8. What did Josh pick them at?
Encyclopedia, man. I'm looking for his. Come on, Joshy. Where are you at? I believe he said. Let's see. I can't seem to find it. I'm looking for it here.
Oh, my Lord. Josh could probably type it in faster. Because I know he remembers. Come on.
Let's see. Encyclopedia, man. You picked the Steelers. I'll have to find yours. I don't know where yours is.
It's not on
at.
the same freaking piece of notepad as yours is?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so where is it?
I'm looking for it. NFC North. Let's see. I'm looking.
Unbelievable.
I know.
You know what? Just close the freaking window. We're going to our update.
All right, I found it.
Okay, and what was it?
Encyclopedia Man said that the Steelers are going to go 10-6.
Wow. And what did I say?
You said that they were going to go 9-7.
9-7. So that's not too bad. That's not too bad. All right, let's run to the first update of the day. This update is brought to you by ShirtShopper.net. NFL season is upon us, 1 week away. You want to get your NFL t-shirt? Head on over to ShirtShopper.net. Click on the little sports icon on the top, sports tab. Click on NFL. Click on your favorite NFL team. Get your NFL shirt today at ShirtShopper.net. Take it away, Sean Mann, with the first update of the day.
All right, Jeff and everybody, welcome to Sports World Radio on this Thursday, the 28th of August, 2014. NFL preseason, it is the final week, by the way. We have one game already in progress, the Falcons and the Jaguars. That game is tied 7-7. Tonight's games, you got the Chiefs at the Packers, Lions at the Bills, Colts at the Bengals. NFL Network game tonight, the New York Jets taking on the Eagles tonight. Rams at the Dolphins, the Patriots at the New York Football Giants, Panthers at the Steelers, Redskins at the Buccaneers, Vikings at the Titans, Broncos at the Cowboys, 49ers at the Texans, Ravens at the Saints, Bears at the Browns, Cardinals at the Chargers. And I know Jeff will be thinking how sad it'll be that they'll have to play again, which will be the Monday night football doubleheader opener. Seahawks at the Raiders, and that game is on NFL Network. That will conclude the NFL preseason for 2014. The first NFL game starts a week from today, which will be September 4th, and that, of course, will be the Green Bay Packers and the Seattle Seahawks. Moving to the major leagues right now, 9 games in progress today. There was a lot of them that went final to start in the American League. The Detroit Tigers did something they had to do, and that was win a big game against the Yankees today, a game-winning hit by Alex Avila to give the Tigers a 3-2 victory against the Yankees, pushing the Yankees maybe on the brink of elimination for their slim playoff hopes, even though we have the whole month of September coming up. Here are the other games that we have for tonight. You got the Rays taking on the Orioles, Indians taking on the White Sox. The Indians are not that far behind for that second wild card spot, which are 4.5 games behind both Seattle and Detroit for the second American League wild card. Of course, the Tigers are chasing the team that has made the biggest news in all of Major League Baseball and the sports world. That's the Kansas City Royals. It's not the Tigers, not the White Sox, not the Twins. It's the Royals. They're 74-58. They're taking on the Twins tonight. Rangers at the Astros, and it'll be the Athletics taking on the Angels in a key matchup for the American League West. In the National League, 2 games go final today. The Reds over the Cubs by a score of 7-2. The Giants over the Rockies 4-1 down in San Francisco as they're trying to keep pace in that tight National League wild card for the second spot. The Braves taking on the Mets tonight. The Braves, of course, are sitting 2 games back of the Giants in that National League wild card. This concludes the update for Sports World Radio. When we come back from our commercial break, more sports talk brought to you by ShirtShopper.net. Be right back after commercial.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family.
We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, "Is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us." And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too.
Don't wait until it's too late. Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, this is Sky. And when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
All right, welcome back to Sports World Radio over here. How's everybody doing over there? You like that, Sean? Sean's all confused.
Yeah, I'm
Sean's
just
all
laughing
confused.
away. And all of a sudden, we have a new person in our NFL Pro Football Pick'em, and that would be Wes.
He's going
hey, Wes,
down.
I'm not going to finish in last place. I went second last year. I only
Wes-
lost to Ebo by a couple games.
That's right, by a couple of points. Hey, Wes, everybody in the league is going to make sure you finish in last place.
Got 15 people in right now. This is good.
You know that, Wes? Everybody's going to make sure you finish in last place. The objective is to make sure Wes finishes in last place. The GF6 show. Make sure he finishes in last place.
And watch Wes go in last, and that'll be funny.
Yeah.
I'm first, Jeff second.
I'll need a good laugh.
Oh, yeah, he's busting my chops because poor old Pittsburgh Steeler fan is going to see his team not be so good. I found it now. Encyclopedia Man said the Steelers will be 8-8. I said they'll be 8-8, and Jeff said they'll be 7. So Wes, I say your opportunity with the Steelers isn't very good.
No, in fact, if I remember correctly, I believe I have Cincinnati winning that division.
That's right. You do have the Bengals winning the AFC North Division. I have them picked to win the AFC North Division. Oh, look at Wes says, look, 10-6 for the Steelers, or maybe 7-11-5. Oh, God.
Hey, Wes, I would appreciate that. You're telling a couple of people if they want to advertise on the show. Thank you. I'm always
Since
looking
he
for
blows,
advertising.
I would be careful there. Andy Dalton,
My man
Mr.
Andy,
West.
my man Andy Dalton's gonna have the best year of his career this year.
The question is, can he get the monkey off his back in the postseason and win a playoff game?
Yeah, he's gonna win a playoff game, and Cleveland and Dallas ain't going to the Super Bowl. Sorry there, Mr. Skip Bayless.
He's been pretty quiet of late.
He's been very quiet.
He probably knows that he's been hearing us, and he probably says, Escow is better than I am. I just need to shut my mouth and go to sleep.
I'd like to hear him say that.
Well, I know. What happens if he comes out and then later says, oh, Cleveland and Dallas are doing great. It'll be the Browns and the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, everybody. My Browns against my Cowboys.
Who's going to have...
That's what he would say. That's a typical Skipism.
Who's going to have a better record? The Browns or the Cowboys?
Options are they're both not very good, but if I had to pick one, I'll probably go with the Browns just because I can't stand Dallas.
Okay, well, do me a favor. Pull up your stupid-ass crappy sheet again that you can't freaking work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell me what record I had for the Browns, and then tell me what record I had for the Cowboys.
Jeff, AFC North, Browns 6-10.
And I think I picked the same thing for the Cowboys, didn't
I? Let me take a little look and confirm
sure I
that
did.
with you, Jeff, my leader.
I'm pretty sure I did.
Cowboys 6-10.
Mm-hmm. So they're both going to end up with the same record.
Encyclopedia Man, though, said on the chat room, and we all know this, he said Dallas will be 3-13.
Yeah, I know. He really loves Dallas a lot.
You know Jerry Jones will not be happy if Dallas doesn't make it to the playoffs again this year.
GF6, Wes has got the Cowboys going 4-12. So he's right there with Sean. I mean, he's right there with Josh. He's right there with Josh with the 4-12. And I got him at 6-10. And I got the freaking Cleveland at 6-10. Come on, those two teams are terrible. Even if you swapped quarterbacks, they'd be just as bad. Oh, you got him at 8-8? Well, you're crazy.
I say it's going to be another year of heartbreak, and they'll drop to 8-8. And how about this? Encyclopedia Man says...
I saw that.
Oh, yeah, he did. Peterson to the Cowboys.
Adrian Peterson wants to go to the Cowboys, but correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't he under contract with Minnesota?
I believe he does. Encyclopedia Man, would you look that up for us, please?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Minnesota ain't letting him go for nothing.
Vikings' major problem is they don't have a quarterback. That's their problem, is their quarterback issue.
They got Matt Castle.
Yeah, but Castle, he wasn't very good last year for them.
So, maybe he'll be better this year. He did pretty good when he was in the backup, and he did okay for Kansas City. You just got to get him. You got to get him an offensive line. You got to get him some wide receivers and a running back, and you'll have a quarterback. Hello?
Yeah, it's possible, but
he's
the
not
Vikings,
no Peyton
it always
Manning.
ends in heartbreak for them.
He's not no Peyton Manning. He ain't no Eli Manning. He ain't no Tom Brady. He's not no Roethlisberger. He's not any of those guys. All right? He's not any of those guys there. He needs people around him.
Encyclopedia Man, who likes to enjoy writing books, goes, this was a casual conversation in which I never indicated I want to leave the Vikings. That's what Adrian Peterson said. Quote, I have always said I understand the NFL is a business, but that I would love to retire as a Viking. The truth is probably somewhere between Jones' reported words and Peterson's statement, it's a non-issue for as long as Peterson is under contract with the Vikings. The Adrian AD is signed through 2017.
Correct. Ben's going to be the MVP. Get out of here, Wes.
You see, here that's the typical Wes-isms because everything is Pittsburgh related. Pittsburgh this, Pittsburgh that. Never forget last year when the Bruins swept the Penguins, and then he posted on my wall, Jeff, and then I was just waiting for the moment, and I went right on his wall and posted a Boston Bruin thing, and I laughed the whole time.
A sore loser. Hey, Wes, did you take all your Pittsburgh Pirates stuff down and put your Steelers stuff up yet?
He probably hasn't taken it down because he says that the Pirates are going to win the National League wild card and win the whole thing.
No, he's smoking some heavy dope right there.
And look at him. He's giving a Jeff and I facts. 6,000 yards. You can't touch wide receivers.
Yes, I can. You can't touch this? Watch. There it goes.
And then he says, not yet. He hasn't taken his gear down.
Well, you should because they're losing. They're not making the playoffs.
And we're at the top of the hour. Got somebody coming in, the windbag.
Yeah, the big wind, Frank Sprankle from Chicago, is coming on in the second half of the show. I'm sure it's going to be a fun one. Stay tuned for that, kids. You're listening to Jeff Escow Show, man, on
Sports World Radio.
Storms move fast, so we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design,
which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't wait until it's too late.
Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
All right, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow Show, man, and now joining us like he does each and every Tuesday and Thursday in the second hour of the show. That's right, I said second hour of the show. The big wind himself, Frank Sprankle. What's going on there, buddy?
Well, I guess now the entire Western world has ended its patience because Gale Force 1 has landed.
Yeah. There you go. There's your
Gale
sound
Force
effect.
1 has officially landed.
There's your sound effect.
Well, you know what that sound is? That sound is just my copter making its way down. So touchdown, Gale Force One.
God.
Here comes Frank Sprinkle to emerge and to take both of you guys to school today.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, Frank, good to see you here. And the Encyclopedia Man is here. Wes, of course, is here. It's that crazy Frank. LOL. What's up, Frankie? That's what Wes is saying. Coming from a man that's been talking nonstop about Pittsburgh sports being the homer.
Pittsburgh sports. Hey, you know what? If it makes you feel any better, my Cubs are 11th in the wild card standings.
Woo! Go Cubbies!
Wes is saying that the Pittsburgh
Or 10th,
Pirates.
or 10th in the wild card standings.
Wes says that the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to make the National League wild card this year and get to the playoffs again.
He's smoking dope.
And what would you say about that, Frank? What's it going to take for the Pittsburgh Pirates to get to the playoffs? They're in a tight battle right now.
Let's see, it's going to take them pretty much winning out the month of September. The Pirates have been a huge surprise considering that last year they were able to get into the playoffs and end what was a 21-year drought. I was surprised. I'll be honest. I know the Pirates are 5 games over 500 heading into play today. I know for many in years gone by, that would have been a huge success considering that the Pirates, ever since the Jim Leyland-led team of 1992, when they went to the playoffs for the 3rd consecutive year, they have faltered. But let's understand this. They have a huge 3-game series against the Cardinals starting Labor Day and then Tuesday and Wednesday. All of those games are in St. Louis. That's it as far as they face the Cardinals. Then they face a Cubs team. Say what you want about the Cubs. Okay, they may not be going to the playoffs, but they have been winning as of late. Maybe not today, but as of late in general. They face the Cubs. They faced your Red Sox, Sean. It can't get any worse for the Pittsburgh Pirates because they do face the Red Sox at PNC Park in mid-September, 16, 17,
and
18.
You know darn well that Jeff will be saying, I don't like the Red Sox, Sean, but I got to go with your Red Sox against the Pirates so I don't have to hear about Wes and all of his Pittsburgh stuff.
What are you talking about? The Red Sox ain't even in the freaking
Pirates do have a
playoffs.
tough road. You got the Cardinals. You got the Cubs. You have the Cubs 6 times, back-to-back weekend series in Pittsburgh, then in Chicago. And then you have the Atlanta Braves in a 4-game series. I honestly think it's going to be tough for the Pirates to capture one of those 2 wild cards. However, I'll say this. The Pirates have definitely made things interesting in a wild card race, which I love and support because it's a winner-take-all tiebreaker. I know you two hate it. I love it.
Yeah, and if we go to the other side, we talk about the American League. The team that, of course, has been making the biggest news in all of the sports world, which has been great, I think, for Major League Baseball, is the team that's leading the American League Central.
Yes,
it's not
absolutely.
the Tigers. It's not the White Sox. It's not the Twins. That would be the young team from Kansas City called the Kansas City Royals. How about the games that they have won against the Twins? Ned Yost visited with the Bat Boy, and the Bat Boy said, well, this Royals going to get on, and Gordon's going to hit the game-winning home run. That's just what they did. You look at the Royals' record, 74-58. This would be a great story for baseball if they can do it. The only thing they're saying, and I was listening to ESPN, Frank, and they were saying this Kansas City Star reporter said, who covers the Royals, said, can the Royals hold off the Tigers? That's the big thing.
A man on board, down 1-0, and Alex Gordon lifts the spirits of Kansas City, not just the Royal fans, but all of Kansas City with his 2-run homer in the bottom of the 9th. That proves to me, gentlemen, that perhaps the Royals, while they may not be a team destined for the Fall Classic, I am a believer that this is a team of postseason destiny here. And I'm going to tell you this. Think about the Royals for a moment. They were on ESPN Monday night against the Yankees, and they get the ultimate ESPN exposure come Sunday night when they're on Sunday Night Baseball against the Indians. Now, tell me the last time ESPN, and I'm not talking about your Monday and Wednesday night or holiday games. I'm talking about the Sunday night game, the big enchilada of all baseball showcase matchups. When was the last time Kauffman Stadium was showcased on ESPN?
I think the last time,
I don't remember.
Last year, of course, they went 85-77 and missed the playoffs by just a couple games. '03 is when they were really in the heat of the pennant race, and they got the fans back. Remember, they got off to the 16-3 start. Everybody was talking about how the Royals were really, really back. I think this is the best team since last year and since the '03 team.
They're better. They're better.
Yeah, they're better. Their pitching has improved. They've got young hitting, 1 through 9 the lineup. They're reminding us a lot of what we've seen from the Pirates from last year and from the last couple of years, and even the Tampa Bay Rays. Remember the Rays in '08, before the season began? Nobody gave the Rays a chance in that year, and look what happened in '08. They shot the odds.
You're talking about '08, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about '08 when the Rays went to the World Series and took the Phillies to 5 games and, of course, lost the Fall Classic. And then they got better with Joe Madden as the manager. Ned Yost, I think, reminds a lot of people of Joe Madden in a way. Here's a young guy who's been in the big leagues for a long time. He's a first base coach for the Braves. He comes in. It takes years for him to rebuild the team. And I think everybody was saying, you just give it time. Maybe the Royals are going to finally be back. I know if I would be living in Kansas right now, Frank, they would be going nuts down there right now because this is as good as it gets for the whole city of Kansas City because they've never been in the playoffs in my lifetime. They went in 1985, and that's the last time they went.
And understand, this is the fifth season of Ned Yost as the manager of the Kansas City Royals. I think in the early going, there was a sense of impatience considering it has been mediocre baseball. But take a look at the Royals. And you mentioned before that the Pirates, as well as obviously the Rays until 2008. You're talking about really mediocre baseball. Organizations that seem to have no future. But take a look at what Tampa Bay has become. Pittsburgh, they're in contention. And Kansas City, if they can get into the playoffs, this is going to springboard them into the public eye. They're going to get plenty of exposure. And something tells me that the Royals, although it won't be easy in the years to come, especially with the Tigers and their pitching staff, I still think the Tigers have such a strong pitching staff here.
Well, what's going to prove it right here, Frank? When you I'm looking at the Royals schedule. Okay, so they got the Twins tonight.
Don't forget about those games against the Tigers.
Yeah, the Twins. I'm going to get to that. The Indians coming up. Texas, not very good. And then they got 3 against the Yankees, at Detroit, and then 3 at home against Detroit. Those 6 games against Detroit, like I told Jeff yesterday, that will tell us right there who gets the American League Central. And you know what? My gut is going with Kansas City. I think it would be kind of really cool to see them.
I'm rooting for the Royals. I am rooting for the Royals considering my Chicago Cubs aren't in the postseason. Both sides of town, you are not going to see any playoff baseball in October. So why might I not root for the Kansas City Royals? No, listen, I'm not a bandwagon fan, but I do take it from the standpoint that these fans are passionate. These fans, a good number of them have waited a long time for this. And just thinking about these individuals, that's why I am rooting for the Royals to at least get into the playoffs.
You know what's amazing about this year for baseball, when you look at this, it's going to be very possible that this is going to be the year that we don't see the Red Sox or the Yankees in the playoffs. A lot of people are going to be shocked when that happens.
Oh, I'm sure you're happy. All right, listen, Sean, you got to be happy. Maybe your Red Sox aren't going to the playoffs, but potentially the Yankees are not going to the playoffs. That would have to make you happy. You'd have to take – hold on, but wouldn't you be taking some constellation? Okay, my Red Sox, they're definitely not going to the playoffs. Fine, but hey, at least the evil empire will not be possibly.
They had – we got 2 minutes before we go to break here, Frank. They had a story about that, from 1995 to 2013. It's always been the Red Sox or the Yankees in the playoffs. And some fans are like going, good, kick them both out. We've seen too much of them. Get some new teams in there. Get some new blood in there. Of course, because look at it, the AL East, I'm still saying Baltimore, they're going to take it. Buck Showalter's done a great job with that team. I say the O's are going to win the AL East division for the first time since 1997. Back when Cal Ripken Jr. was playing. And then you got the Royals, you got the Mariners as a possibility, because I know Encyclopedia Man has said numerous times he wants Detroit out of the playoffs. And then the AL West, look at this big series we got coming up. You got the Angels, you got the A's. That's going to be one fun series this weekend between these two teams for that AL West.
I know we got to go to commercial. Listen, I know we got to go to commercial, but quickly, AL West, best division in baseball this year.
Angels and the A's tonight.
And the Mariners. I know the Mariners aren't in contention, but look at what they've done in the wild card standings. AL West, best division in 2014 for me.
What do you expect, though, from this weekend, Frank? Labor Day weekend, what do you expect from the A's and the Angels? You're going to expect an October atmosphere when those two teams play, because a lot at stake, because this is a 4-game series. Whoever takes 3 out of 4 is well on their
Sean, at this point, being that it is Labor Day weekend, that it is a 4-game series, this series is going to make or break one ball club. If both teams come out with a split, then all of a sudden we're back to even potentially, and it's going to be an interesting race the rest of the way. However, if you have either the Angels or the A's take 3 out of 4, certainly a sweep, then guess what? Coin that team division champs.
What's amazing, Jeff and Frank, before we go to break real quickly, is how the Oakland A's, it just seemed like the A's were going to run away with the American League West, but they've been losing, and the Angels have been just sticking right in this thing. And Mike Scioscia knew very well that he was not going to go through a rebuilding year, and the Angels have been on fire ever since the All-Star break. Yeah, so on that note, we got to run to commercial break. We are 15 minutes past the hour. We'll be right back with more sports talk with Jeff and Frank on Sports World Radio.
Storms move fast, so we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design,
which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
Did you know that just 30 minutes a day of physical activity can improve your health and decrease your risk of heart disease? For every hour of regular, vigorous exercise, you gain 2 hours of life expectancy. So start walking for yourself and for your heart. Start walking with your family. You'll feel better. Start walking in your community. You'll lead happier and healthier lives. Start walking. Start something. Join the movement today. For more information on the American Heart Association's START program, visit startwalkingnow.org and start walking. Start something.
What kind of person gets to work in the sunshine instead of an office? This kind of person. I am the new way to work. I do have an office. I'm just not chained to it. It's a Regis office at one of the nicest addresses in the city. I don't have a lease, so I don't have to budget for stuff like phones, IT guys, and artwork for the lobby. Instead, I pay one low monthly rate that gives me a beautiful lobby that impresses my clients, a friendly receptionist, a fully furnished office, a place to meet, and a place to brainstorm with my fellow New Way to Workers. We wonder why more people don't realize that the new way to work is the best way to work. I come here because I want to, not because I have to. I am the new way to work, and I'd like you to join me.
Start now and get 1 month free. Call 1-800-OFFICES or visit regis.com/TV.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back, everybody, to Sports World Radio on this 28th of August, 2014. Welcome, everybody. This is Sean Mann, Jeff Eskow, and, of course, the man who knows a lot about sports, Frank Sprankle, the big wind himself.
I wouldn't say I know a lot. I wouldn't say I know everything.
Not everything, but he's got a good perspective.
Do you?
When our last talk, we were talking, everybody, about the, of course, Major League Baseball, the incredible runs that we've seen from the Orioles and the Royals, and about how it could possibly be for the first time in a long time that the Red Sox and Yankees don't make the playoffs. We'll get into the Redskins, but yeah. Frank, before we do that, I would like to talk to you a little bit more. Would you be surprised come October that you possibly don't see the Red Sox and Yankees? I think there's going to be some baseball fans that'll be like saying, this is weird. This is supposed to not possibly happen. Red Sox, Yankees not in the playoffs, kind of nuts right here. But I think it's expected because, I was kind of thinking to myself a couple weeks ago, I said, if it happens, it happens because we've realized that streaks don't last forever between these two teams.
Well, what weird indeed, but if you look at weird, that translates into good, and good for many baseball fans because they don't like these two organizations. They're tired of all the fan base. They're tired of the fact that they're in contention year in and year out. They're tired of the mystique of Red Sox Nation, the Bronx Bombers. I'm more so than the Red Sox, and this is the Red Sox as defending World Series champions, Sean. I think a lot of – go ahead, because I think there's some people that are actually tired of Derek Jeter.
You have a good point there, Frank. Derek Jeter just a couple weeks away from retiring, and he probably would like to get to the postseason, but I don't see that happening because okay, let's look at both teams. Red Sox this year have been banged up with injuries. They have not been able to stay.
Can I just make this point here? I got to make this point.
Go ahead.
What's amazing about Derek Jeter's last postseason performance? Think about this. Wasn't it that broken ankle in the ALDS a couple years ago?
It was the 2012 American League Championship Series.
Yeah, that's what against the Tigers.
That was game one against Detroit. They came back, tied the game, and then Jeter, when he got hurt, I said, "There's the ALCS right there."
But did you ever imagine, Sean? Did you ever imagine that the great Derek Jeter, who even in 2001 was coined the name Mr. November, that potentially his last ever postseason image was that of an injury, a devastating injury?
I didn't have like an image of it when that had happened, but
think about that's the last time we may have seen Derek Jeter on the field in terms of a postseason appearance.
If you look at how big the rivalry is between the two teams, I would say that the Red Sox-Yankee rivalry is officially deceased. It's dead. I think it's gone because it's been 10 years since the last time the two teams have played in the American League Championship Series. 03 and 04. I remember before the first series between the Red Sox and the Yankees, and everybody's talking about how, it'll be Jacoby Ellsbury going up against his former employer. What will the reaction be like? And then you're wondering, and then I was listening. I was out walking, and I was listening to WEEI 93.7 in Boston, and then a lot of people were saying that the rivalry is pretty much gone. It's not been like a big rivalry like it used to be. And I can kind of agree with that. And then when you look at this year, Frank, look at the fact that Red Sox don't make the playoffs, and I'm still saying the Yankees will not make the playoffs. I still don't think that with their pitching, it's a big concern that both teams are in rebuilding. Both teams just do not look the same, don't look the best. They don't look like the superpowers that a lot of people have expected them. Sure, the Red Sox won the World Series, but that was for a big occasion last year. But if you look at just how much the rivalry is pretty much gone.
Okay, well, hold on. I wouldn't quite say it is gone. From the standpoint of history, you're always going to have the Red Sox and the Yankees. Throw out the record, Red Sox, Yankees, Yankees, Red Sox, however you want to slice and dice it. It is here to stay forevermore. Now, having said that, I think it's in hibernation. I'm not going to use dead. I'm going to use the word hibernation because let's understand this. There have been moments in history, human history, specifically over the 20th century and now the early portion of the 21st century, in which we have seen the rivalry blossom. I mean, we have seen Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio going head-to-head. Who can forget 1978? The one-game playoff. Oh, yeah, they had to fight that season, too.
Frank, go way, way, way back in time before 1978. There was the 1949, the playoff system there when the Red Sox needed one win to knock the Yankees out. The Yankees beat them twice in 1949 and knocked them out, and they won the final two games. Then you go 29 years later, and then you had the 1978 one-game playoff. And, of course, in the 50s, the rivalry, of course, was still big because the Red Sox and Yankees were always battling it out for pennants, and you had the Yankees winning World Series. And in the 60s, the Yankees won two, and then the Red Sox and Yankees weren't very good in the parts of the
Well,
60s.
late 67, however, the Red Sox, we know the impossible dream came true, but the Yankees, you didn't think of them as being a team of dominance in the late 1960s. We know about the 1970s, specifically 1978. The 1980s, look, the Red Sox, especially in the second half of that decade, made it to the playoffs twice. I'm not going to bring up 1986 to you, but look at the time. But look at that time here, Sean. The Yankees were pretty much dead quiet in terms of actual baseball productivity. Maybe they had Dave Winfield, maybe they had Don Mattingly, but in that time, the Yankees weren't a competitive ball club. The Red Sox were. The Red Sox were, though.
And think about it. That's the only decade that the Red Sox and Yankees weren't serious contenders. 86, of course, ended in heartbreak, the Bill Buckner game. 1988, the Red Sox made the playoffs. They lost to the Oakland A's. 1981, the Yankees made it to the World Series, lost to the Dodgers in 6 games. So you have to understand that during that time and during that decade of the 80s, both teams were not so good. Both teams didn't compete. And then it's like as you got into the 90s, starting in 95 to 2013, that's every year. It was always the Red Sox and the Yankees, Red Sox and the Yankees, or even both.
Yankees, Red Sox, however you
or of course,
slice it.
Of course, in 99, they met in the ALCS. It was a 5-game series the Yankees beat the Red Sox in. And then in 03 and 04, that was one of the best because the rivalry really got renewed between both teams in 2003. Who can ever forget the memory when Pedro Martinez hit Kareem Garcia, and that ignited fireworks between both teams. And then Don Zimmer, the late, great Don Zimmer, came running out, wanting to go after
pretty much
Pedro,
challenging it.
and Pedro, boom, throws him into the ground, and I knew right away that the rivalry was back. And then 04, I'll never forget when Veritek and A-Rod got into a huge melee. That's how good it was in 03 and 04. But
yeah, it wasn't good
I just
in 03.
don't think
it wasn't no good. My Cubbies, I was paying attention to my Cubbies in 03. It wasn't really good for my Cubbies as opposed to your Red Sox.
03 was a nightmare, but that, in the long run,
there was a springboard, Nickel. There was a springboard here.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of glad we bring this story up because this could possibly
Sean, it's in
happen
hibernation. The rivalry's in hibernation. It will never die. It's just in hibernation right now.
Yeah, and there's gonna be many more magical moments and big moments between these two teams for the years to come. But
I think
now,
there will be.
Now you don't have the Red Sox going to Yankee Stadium and them chanting 1918, and now you realize that it's just anti-Yankees this, anti-Yankees that, anti-Red Sox this, and anti-Yankees that.
Sean, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You know what we should be questioning? Because if you look at the Red Sox and the Yankees, I mean, both teams are of older players. These are players that aren't going to be playing long-term. They're not going to be part of the long-term plan of both ball clubs. So I guess really we should be questioning ourselves as who's going to be the next Jeter? Who's going to be the next Big Papi? Who's going to be the next Lester? Who's going to be the next CC Sabathia? That's what we should be thinking here, Sean.
You're very good point, Frank, because think about it. Next year, the Yankees are going to be an entirely different ball club again. You're going to have Alex Rodriguez coming back from his suspension, and then you're going to have Derek Jeter retired, and then the Yankees are probably like saying, well, how are we going to win without Mo? The pitching is a problem. The Yankees are going to have a big concern saying, well, how are we going to win without Derek Jeter?
By the way,
and then with the Red Sox, it's going to be like when Ortiz retires, who's going to step up and who's going to be another David Ortiz?
Sean, I'm actually going to give the Red Sox one up over the Yankees, and here's why. Because Red Sox fans, listen, Red Sox fans can laugh at the Yankees next year, and here's why. Because they have Alex Rodriguez returning. The Yankees don't want Alex Rodriguez. No ball club wants Alex Rodriguez. So guess what? A-Rod, he is the property of the New York Yankees. Unfortunately, the Yankees are stuck with A-Rod. So guess what? Here's what I can imagine Red Sox fans chanting at Fenway next year when the Yankees come back for a 3-game weekend series or whenever. You guys are stuck with A-Rod. Something along those lines.
Well,
stuck
you could
with
say
A-Rod. Stuck with A-Rod.
Or something like, cheater. I remember last year.
Hey, the joke's
Ryan
on the Yankees.
Dempster, remember last year, sold out at Fenway. Ryan Dempster hit Rodriguez, and that ignited almost a close, very close benches clearing brawl. And I'll never forget, David Ortiz said to Ryan Dempster, he was kind of upset about it, saying, hey, we want to keep it clean. That's not good for the fans. It's not good for both organizations. Don't do that. And you knew it was intentional. And that's what ignited a huge fight. But
Keep it
as
clean.
you go
I don't
right
think of the Yankees and Red Sox as being clean, Sean.
Yeah, but you got to keep, that it's a nationally televised game. People are going to be watching it. And that was a big, big moment. And, of course, that really woke the Yankees up. And they competed for a while. But then the Red Sox I called last year the New York Massacre, because that was a kind of a way for the Red Sox to say, look, they pushed us around over the years. Let's go in there to New York and in Boston, push them around. The Red Sox went 6-1 against them last year. And I loved every minute of it.
Well, I'll tell you this: with the Red Sox having won their third title, I know things aren't going well for the Red Sox. Third title.
No, not very much.
No, but the Red Sox, at least we can say, based on their level of success, they have become the modeled organization for Major League Baseball. Okay, I will say this: in the late 1990s into the early 2000s, the New York Yankees were that model. But that model has shifted, considering that over the last 10 decades, you've only seen one World Series championship on the part of the New York Yankees. And this is not the same Bronx Bombers team of 1998, which you had a young Derek Jeter, you had Scott Brocious, you had Tino Martinez, you had Paul O'Neill. You're talking about some Bernie Williams. Bernie Williams was an excellent clutch hitter. You don't have these big at-bats anymore.
No, you don't. And before we run to the second commercial break, let me point out this real quickly. Ever since 2004, after that World Series, it's almost as though after that, things just changed after that. Things changed, and then the Red Sox started dominating. They started competing. They started win, and people were saying, "Oh, it'll take them another long time to win it." And then I would say to people, "No, it won't take them another long time to win it. They've been through the misery. They went through it. They're going to be right back in that World Series in a few years." And they were in 07, and then it only took them 6 years later to get back to the World Series last year. That's how good they are, because they're kind of saying, let's just show people that we can start dominating the century kind of in a way. And on that note, we're going to run to our second and final update of the day. This update is brought to you by Keurig.coffeemachines.com. Welcome, everybody, to the second and final update for Sports World Radio on Thursday, August 28th, 2014. Major League Baseball, here are the games that we got going on right now. In the National League, here we go. Finals from this afternoon. The Reds over the Cubs by a score of 7-2. The Giants over the Rockies 4-1. And in the bottom of the second inning right now, the Braves have a 1-0 lead against the Mets. In the American League, one final from today. The Tigers over the Yankees by a score of 3-2 on a game-winning hit by Alex Avila that gave the Tigers the walk-off win. A team that, of course, they are watching, the Yankees and maybe the Blue Jays and the Rays. That would be the Baltimore Orioles. Right now, the Rays are playing the Orioles. The Rays have 2 runs on the board on an Evan Longoria home run. Pierce came back with the solo shot, so it's now 2-1 Rays over the O's. Indians at White Sox, Twins at Royals, Rangers at Astros, and a big, big matchup tonight. It'll be the Athletics taking on the Angels. Right now, the Angels lead the American League West by 1 game over Oakland. Get ready and buckle up for a 4-game series that has a lot of playoff feel to it. In the NFL preseason, we are in the 4th and final week. Let's get you caught up on the games. The Falcons lead the Jaguars by a score of 21-7. Packers have a touchdown on the board. They lead 7-0 in the first quarter. Lions and the Bills, their scoreless at 0. Colts at Bengals. The Jets taking on the Eagles right now on the NFL Network. The Eagles now lead 7-0. Rams and the Dolphins, they're tied at 0 first quarter. Other games that we got the Patriots taking on the Giants, Panthers at Steelers, Redskins at Buccaneers, Vikings at Titans, Broncos at Cowboys, 49ers at Texans, Ravens at Saints, Bears at Browns, Chargers hosting the Cardinals, and the Seahawks taking on the Raiders. And that game can be seen on the NFL Network. This concludes the second and final update for Sports World Radio. 33 minutes past the hour on this Thursday, the 28th of August. Update was brought to you by Keurig.coffeemachines.com. When we come back from the update, and actually from the commercial, more sports talk with Frank Spreaker. Now let's go to commercial.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Why does consultant Jerry Howell stay at La Quinta?
Can you come back tomorrow?
Because only with La Quinta can Jerry instant hold the room tonight using just his phone number. And then power down for tomorrow on his pillow top bed. And when Jerry's refreshed, you know what he does?
We need ideas, people. Think. Synergistic integration. Genius.
He thinks outside the box.
I'm going for it. No.
La Quinta Inns and Suites take care of you so you can take care of business. Instant hold your next stay on your smartphone at LQ.com.
La Quinta.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
All right, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow, Sean Mann, and big wind, the big wind himself, Frank Spreaker, doing the show with us like he does each and every Tuesdays and Thursdays in the second hour of the show. Really quick, don't forget about tomorrow's show. Right at the top of the show tomorrow, we're going to have D2's lead singer, Don Chaffin, on for a half hour. Get your questions ready. Come on in. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Welcome back is right. Jeff says that we're back 36 minutes past the hour, the 28th of August, 2014. Actually, now it's 7:37, 4:37. And yes, Frank, I know what time it is in the Central.
Yeah.
Here we go.
No, so you did figure it out for yourself. Dude, Jeff, we should give him a prize of some sort.
Why? He doesn't live in the Central.
The Central time zone.
Why? He
Frank,
doesn't live in the Central. He doesn't need to know what time it is there.
Yeah, but now he'll know forever what time it is in the Central time zone. You may not live there, but that's going to be your prize. Update man, Sean, you're getting a clock with the Central time zone exclusively on it.
All right.
Yeah,
Now, speaking of which, somebody who used to live in the Central, former Bears coach and ESPN analyst Mike Ditka has weighed in on the Washington Redskins nickname controversy, saying he finds it, quote, so stupid it's appalling. Here's what he said. He goes, quote, what's all the stink over the Redskin name? It's so much expletive, it's incredible. We are going to let the liberals of the world run this world. It was said out of reverence, out of pride to the American Indian. Even though it was called a redskin, what are you going to call them? A brown skin? This is so stupid. It's appalling. And I hope that owner keeps fighting for it and never changes it, because the Redskins are part of the American football history, and it should never be anything but the Washington Redskins. That's the way it is. That's what Mike Ditka said.
God bless Mike Ditka. I am on your side 100%. You guys know I've always been a great admirer of Mike Ditka. As a matter of fact, you know how big of an admirer of Mike Ditka I am? I actually have the
Bears, right?
Do you know what I have? Seriously. I have the sweater and I have the sweater vest. I have them both in my possession. And when the weather starts getting a tad cooler, I am going to wear my sweater and sweater vest with pride that only Mike Ditka did when he wore them 25 years ago, almost 30 years ago. But go ahead.
All right, Jeff, Frank, this is a big question. Should the Redskins change their name?
Wait, can I ask the question first and foremost?
Sure.
No. No.
Jeff, what do you think? Should the Redskins change their name or should they keep it the way it is?
I think they should keep it the same way it is, man. Why change the freaking thing?
Mike Ditka,
yeah, keep it.
Mike Ditka went on and he also added in this story, he goes, look, it's all the political correct idiots in America. That's
I like that.
Is.
Finally, he actually used the word idiots, and that's what they are because nobody was bitching and complaining about that name 25, 30 years ago in the 1980s, early 1990s under Joe Gibbs when the Redskins, when I say it, Redskins were winning Super Bowl championships.
It's got nothing to do with anything else. We are going to change something because we can. He goes, quote, hey, listen, I went through it in the 60s too. I mean, come on. Everybody lined up, did this. It's fine to protest. That's your right. If you don't like it, protest. You have a right to do that. But to change the name, that's ridiculous. Change the Constitution. We've got people trying to do that too, and they're doing a pretty good job. That's what Mike Ditka, he really blasted them about the Redskins nickname controversy. Right, leave it the way it is. I know that when I went to Washington, D.C. last year, I saw all kinds of people wearing Redskin stuff because that's the football name. Redskins have been around since like the late 20s. Long time.
Okay, and you changed the team name. Let's say by
what could you change it as? What could you change?
I don't know, but that ain't the point. Hold on, that ain't the point. What about the NFL films documented as the Washington Redskins? Huh? What are you going to do? Are you going to edit every single NFL film that has the word Redskin in it? Are you going to do it? Let me ask you, are you going to do that because, okay, you take away the team name Redskins. Fine. Well, unfortunately, it ain't fine by me, but heck, political correctness 1, Frank's sprinkled a big win 0. But then you have to eliminate every time the word Redskin is said in every NFL film and past game broadcast.
I don't think they have to.
Okay, but it's there.
I know, but I don't think they'd have to. I think it would be from this time forward.
Well,
you know what I mean? I don't think they'd have to. I think they'd do it from this time forward. And,
okay, but then let's say somebody watches the Super Bowl 17 highlight film, and of course that was with John Riggins and his famous touchdown against the Miami Dolphins. Oh, and by the way, maybe you have a dad or a grandfather that remembers that Super Bowl, a big Redskins fan. Dad or grandpa, grandpa, what is a Redskin?
Yeah, that's what they would be asking. What is a Redskin? Or they could probably say, or they could probably or people could probably come up and say, how about Doug Williams and the Redskins trouncing the Denver Broncos in a Super Bowl back in the 80s? Or when the Redskins beat the Bills back in the early 90s.
Hey,
okay, just thought of something. So let's say the Redskins, and I don't care if it's FedEx Field, I don't care if the Redskins are the opposition in an opposing team stadium. Does this mean you will not be allowed to wear Washington Redskins team apparel?
No, because the logo is okay.
I don't get it. But hold on, but you're wearing the Redskins team name, even though it is no longer in use. Or are we going to hear anybody about political correctness complain?
No.
I think we might.
No, I don't think so. And I don't think they should ever change the name.
Leave it the way it is. And Mike, I read this story today, Frank, and I said I'm going to save this when Frank gets in here because I know he'd have perspective on this whole situation with the Redskins and the name change. Just leave it the way it is. I'm so sick of this controversy about how this is becoming such a big issue in the nation's capital. What are we supposed to call them? The Washington Scandals or something like that?
How many people are actually thinking about what the Redskins team name actually means? Nobody.
Yeah. Nobody.
Doesn't mean anything. To me, anyway. It's just the name of the team.
Well, exactly. And it's a team that has won 3 Super Bowls.
No, I'm with you.
Joe Theismann.
Well, wait. You know what's cool about the Redskins and under the Joe Gibbs years? 3 different quarterbacks winning 3 different Super Bowls. Joe Theismann, Doug Williams, Mark Ripken.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I totally get it. I totally understand it.
And of course, Jeff knows perfectly well that in the NFC East, Jeff always remembers them as the Washington Redskins because they've always had great battles over the years. And of course, Jeff never forgets what Lawrence Taylor did to Joe Theismann back in 1985.
That's right.
And you were at that game. And not to mention, too, Jeff, you also remember a year later the 1986 NFC Championship game with the wind howling over the Meadowlands.
Screw the Redskins.
They beat the Redskins.
DJ Gary One Arm, if he was here, would have a different opinion because he would say, be careful what you say about my Redskins. That's my team.
Well,
do you know who we should be hearing from? We should be hearing of current Redskin players and of Redskins from the past.
No, you really shouldn't. It doesn't matter. The owner says he's not changing the name, and that's that. And that's the only person that matters.
I support it, but what do they have an opinion?
Doesn't
I
matter.
Think they should have an opinion. I think, Jeff, if you were to ask these Hall of Fame Redskins, I'm talking about your Joe Theismanns. I'm talking about your John Riggins. I'm talking about your John Bostic.
Matter.
You know what? I guarantee you, they will say there's nothing wrong with the team name. They would have said it already.
It doesn't matter because there's only one person that matters, and that's the owner, Snyder, and he ain't changing it.
Wait, not just Snyder. It's one guy that we don't agree with. We do agree with him here, and that's Roger Goodell. Goodell says the name's not going to change.
Well, if Snyder wants to change it, then the name will change. But Snyder doesn't want to change it.
Because Dan Snyder, before we go to our last update, actually our last commercial break, Dan Snyder, when he brought the team, said he wanted to be the Redskins owner because he'd been a Redskin fan since he was a kid. He was a big fan of them, and that's why he is making sure to keep it the Washington Redskins. I'm just so sick of this controversy anyway.
Lucky him. I've been a Chicago Bears fan since I was a kid, and I'm in all probability not going to ever own them.
And on that note, we'll be right back after this quick break. You're listening to Jeff Escow, Showman Frank Sprankle on
Sports World Radio.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family.
We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us. And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't wait until it's too late.
Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
All right, welcome back to the final segment of this fun-filled 2-hour sports journey that Sean and I and Frank have been taking you on today for the Thursday edition. One more quick reminder, tomorrow's show, right at the top of the show, we're going to have the lead singer of D2, Don Chaffin, on with us for a half hour So come on in. You got any questions? Get them, bring them in. Get ready. Hang out in the chat room. Get ready. And we'll answer all your questions with Don Chaffin tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so guys, we were at break, and Frank asked me a question about a San Diego announcer here for the Chargers. Hank Bauer and Josh Lewin have been radio partners on San Diego Chargers broadcast since 2005. The long-standing relationship doesn't excuse the anti-Semitic joke that Bauer, a color commentator for the team since 1998, directed a play-by-play man, Lewin, who is Jewish, during the final moments of Sunday's exhibition game against the San Francisco 49ers, as the pair were discussing the privacy seats at Levi's Stadium, the 49ers' new $1.3 billion stadium.
Beautiful stadium, too.
Now, I have here the exact lines. You have Lewin and Bauer. So I'm going to say Lewin, and I'm going to say what his quote was. And I'm going to say Bauer and what his quote was. So here we go. Lewin, if there's a personal seat license, you got to pay for. Bauer, there is. Lewin, I'd sit in it. Bauer, no question. Lewin, for a long time, but a lot of these fans used their seat for about an hour today. Bauer, but then again, you know how copper wire was invented. Somebody dropped a penny between Josh and his family member. Lewin, okay, all right, we've got, let's see, 30 seconds mercifully remaining in this game. Bauer, I say that respectively and endearingly, my partner. Lewin, love you too, buddy. That was the whole thing.
Bauer, you want my comment?
I'm Jewish, and it doesn't bother me whatsoever that he said. But then again,
I don't think it bothered Josh Lewin, at least from the dialogue that he presented after the fact.
I think Lewin was more shocked about the comment than it was offensive to him. Right?
Perhaps. I didn't hear the comment. I'm only hearing what you're saying in terms of relaying the comment.
Well, here's
but I
the
didn't
comment.
hear the actual broadcast. I didn't even see the game. I was actually at the Cubs-Orioles game on Sunday. And even if I did see the game, I'm not going to listen to the San Diego Chargers radio broadcast. With all due respect, I'm going to watch it on Fox.
Right. Well, the comment that he made was, but then again, you know how copper wire was invented. Somebody dropped a penny between Josh and his family member. That was the comment because Josh Lewin is Jewish. That, as a Jewish person, that comment right there doesn't offend me whatsoever.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
And I'm going to be honest, when it comes to subjects such as this, I really have to be careful in what I say because I'm going to be honest, I don't know some of these so-called anti-Semitic comments. So I'm going to ask you probably something very stupid.
Okay, hold on before you do.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, hold on before you do. Bauer took to Twitter and issued an apology. I made a hurtful insinuation that I regret, and I would like to express how sorry I am. My poor choice of words were unfortunately open for negative interpretation. Please know it was never my intention to offend any of my listeners. I hope you accept my apology. Now, Bauer was suspended for the team's final preseason game against the Arizona Cardinals.
Which is probably enough. He just gets a paycheck deducted.
Yeah, and it's a preseason game. Who gives a flying fig Newton?
Yeah, Dud Bowl, as I call all these preseason games Dud Bowls.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. You know, so I as a Jewish person, it doesn't offend me whatsoever.
Okay, let me ask you my stupid question.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to admit it is a stupid question. What did Hank Bauer mean by copper wire and all of that?
I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. What does he mean by the penny and copper wire? Because it's hard for me to comment on these particular pieces of dialogue between Bauer and Lewin
because
unless I understand what the dialogue.
I'll tell you why. Because Jewish people are supposedly penny pinchers. So if somebody drops a penny between two Jewish people, they're going to fight over it, and that's how copper wire is made. You get it now?
Well,
does that make sense now?
Yeah, it does. I'm trying to make sense because I had no idea what Hank Bauer was saying. Now, it doesn't bother you, but unfortunately, I will say this. There's going to be other people of the Jewish faith that are going to take offense to this.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
Maybe not you, maybe not Josh Lewin, but there are other people that will take offense to this that are of the Jewish faith.
No, it doesn't bother me whatsoever.
I'm not saying you or Josh Lewin. I'm talking about people of the Jewish faith. Some will be bothered by this.
I'm sure some people will be bothered by it.
Or already are, I should say. The comments have already been made.
I've heard the comments in context as well. I've listened to the audio clip. It doesn't really bother me whatsoever. And
because he went to Twitter afterwards and apologized before any action was taken, correct?
Correct.
Okay, at that point, I don't think there should have been any action. Maybe with, I don't know, with the Charger organization, because you got to understand, teams, I do know this, teams hired the broadcasters. Typically, it's not the radio station. It is the teams that hired the broadcasters.
Okay, now, right.
Maybe the team should have said, look, we're not going to punish you, but please don't try to say anything along those lines again.
Okay, now there's a problem with that, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Because where the Chargers do their broadcast on Rock 105.3, okay, is owned by Clear Channel Communications.
Okay, Clear Channel, yeah, they're well known throughout the country.
Right, so Clear Channel put out this statement as well. Although we know Hank had no ill will behind his remarks, we regret the comments were inappropriate. Per Clear Channel's decision, Hank will not be broadcasting Thursday's night game. The statement said, Hank has been a strong radio voice for the Chargers for the past 16 years and a passionate supporter of the team since his playing days. We look forward to Chargers fans receiving the same high-quality broadcast from Josh Lewin and Hank when he returns for the booth for the regular season. So it wasn't the Chargers, it was Clear Channel that did it.
Okay, well, on the part of Clear Channel, I do disagree with it, considering that there was a sincere apology issued ASAP. I do believe Hank Bauer, I should say, was very sincere. I mean, why else would he go to Twitter ASAP? I don't think there should have been any punishment taken whatsoever, even though this is not a big deal. Yet he is going to lose a paycheck as a result of this.
It's a preseason game. Who gives a flying fig Newton?
That's my point exactly.
And it's today.
I don't.
And you want to know what game it is? It's today's game. It's today's game against the Arizona Cardinals with no starters are playing. He'll be able to do next week's game against the Arizona Cardinals in the first game of the regular season. So it doesn't matter.
It's also not going to be televised live in San Diego, too.
Exactly. Well, he's the radio guy. So
I'm just saying that's another point, too.
Exactly. So it doesn't freaking matter. It doesn't matter. Big freaking. So you know what? He gets to stay home and hang out with his kids today.
I'm sure he's not even going to watch the game. He's not even going to watch it.
Game ain't on TV. It's blacked out, so he can't even watch it.
Dude, why would you want to watch a Dud Bowl anyway?
That's what I'm saying. This game, tonight's game, don't mean nothing. No starters are playing for both sides, so it doesn't matter. So I bet you in some sort of weird way, he's kind of maybe he did it on purpose so he can go on vacation.
Hey, he should hang out with you, and you two can watch Big Brother in place of the Chargers Cardinals game tonight.
Bring him to the studio.
There you go. We'll do a quick show during Big Brother.
Why would you even black out a preseason game in the first place?
Because they got 9,000 tickets left.
Yeah, but it's just preseason, for goodness sakes. I can understand.
Who cares?
It's
no
the
starters
regular
are playing.
season, but not a preseason game.
Who cares? No starters are playing. I don't really give a flying fit. And they're playing the same team next week, so it doesn't matter.
I got a question, Jeff. What do you think Qualcomm Stadium is going to be like once the fourth quarter starts?
When?
I'm talking about tonight's game.
Probably empty.
It's probably going to be pick your seat afterwards. You can probably go down to the lower level of Qualcomm and sit anywhere you want.
That's why that game's not going to be on TV, because they don't want to show that sports crowd.
Yeah, but it's going to be on TV in Arizona.
That's Arizona's problem.
go sit somewhere and have empty seats because there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Arizona's problem. Hey, we got to get the flock out of here. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us today. I want to thank Frank, Sean, and everybody else for listening to us. Remember, you only have one life to live. Live it long, live it strong, and live it proud. And please don't forget, life may suck, but the alternative is unacceptable.
Amen.
Peace out, everybody. We will see you tomorrow for a big show. Don't forget, Don Chaffin, right at the beginning of the show. Join us for that. Until then, my friends, for Frank Sprankle, Sean Mann, I'm Jeff Escow. This has been Sports World Radio. Peace out, bitches.
Later.
Good night.
Hey, boys, Stimpy. We sure had fun today, kid. So long, kids. Come on, Stimpy, say goodbye.
Where are we going?
The show's over.